50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh my God! Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow! Oh my God! Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Welcome in, everyone, to a brand new edition of The Dream Wager, episode 516. Today is Monday, April 14th, 2025, and Elvis Roy McIlroy made history yesterday. Did you wind up watching? It was beautiful, the Masters yesterday, and we had a playoff, first time since 2017.
No, wasn't able to watch. You know what? I was able to watch like 2 holes on my phone, but I had a busy day yesterday because I kept getting alerts, like when getting close. Then the playoff, and I was like, I gotta at least watch a little bit of the playoff. But I think I was able to watch like holes 17 and 16. That's it. And then I tried to watch the playoff.
Yeah, him and Justin Rose, they went neck and neck, and Roy almost choked it away again. Honestly, I mean, only 2 players in the last 50 years have completed the Grand Slam, Tiger Woods and now Rory McIlroy. He has won it. And to win the Grand Slam on the Masters is kind of special, you know.
Isn't he just the 6th player in history to do
it? 6th player, and I think only 3 of them are alive still. I'll get the list, but he's just the 6th guy to complete the career Grand Slam. He's amongst the greatest ever. He's the first man from Northern Ireland, the island of Ireland, to win the Masters, and it was 10 years and 304 days between major wins for Tiger Woods back in the day, and then it took Rory 10 years and 249 days between major wins for him. It was well worth the wait for him, but and you could see, here are the names. It's Gene Serterzan, Ben Hogan, Gary Player, which he's named after the Players is named after him, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, and now Rory McIlroy. So you obviously saw when he hit that shot in the playoff, that putt, you could just tell that was pure emotion. I'm not the biggest Rory fan. He was the guy we were making fun of, that he took the guy's phone. I think it was like last month or something. Not the biggest Rory fan, but you gotta even just tip your cap to him. You know, he is one of the greats, and the emotion that he had after winning was pure genuine. You know.
Yeah, he even said it. He said it's been a long time coming. You know, he's been wanting the green jacket for over a decade. He said he let out not just like a day of emotion, but a decade.
Probably 11 years.
Yeah. So, shout out Roy McIlroy. I understand some people, hate him or love him, but we can't deny, especially now. And I think this is more towards our generation, though, that, maybe some of us, especially, 25, 35-year-old age group, we didn't really appreciate or witness Tiger in his prime like that. Because I know early 90s, early 2000s, I wasn't locking in on Tiger Woods, But we was able to see a pretty great career from Roy McIlroy, in my opinion. So shout out Roy. To me, in our generation, he's probably one of the greatest of all time.
100%. Him and Tiger Woods, you mentioned it. Since 1966, there's only been 2 men to achieve the Grand Slam, which is the best to winning all 4 majors in golf. Tiger Woods and now Rory McIlroy. It's the Masters, the PGA Championship, the U.S. Open, and the Open Championship, also known as the British Open. But those are the 4, and Tiger and Rory McIlroy are the only 2 since 1966, but before our even parents were born. So, it was incredible. Just going down to his knees. That picture is legendary. It's inspiring too. I'm not the biggest fan, and shout out him. He made $4.2 million. So. Wanted to shout out.
Got 2.3, so shout out second place as well.
I don't know if you watched it, because it's always tradition. The guy who wins the Masters the previous year puts on the green jacket for the guy who wins it this year, and you could tell Scotty Scheffler was just like,
This guy.
he kind of was just like fuck you a little bit. I felt like that's what it seemed like. They're all competitive. They wanted to win. He did place fourth. Scotty Scheffler is still a top 5 golfer in the world, but
He still made
he
a
wanted to
million.
win.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
he was just fine.
At the end, he's a competitor. You can't be mad at him.
100%.
Especially at that moment. It's not like it's like 3 days from now. You just got off the course about what 45 minutes ago, an hour ago.
Yeah.
Now you gotta crown a guy that beat you, because that's
Yeah.
what you're doing. You're crowning him,
Yeah.
and technically you're giving him your jacket because you're no longer the last winner. He is.
Yeah.
So it hurts a little bit now.
Oh, it definitely hurts the ego a little bit. Definitely. Tiger Woods did congratulate him, said, "Welcome to the club, Rory McIlroy. Completing the Grand Slam at Augusta is something special, definitely. Your determination during this round and this entire journey has shown through, and now you are part of history. Proud of you and welcome to the club." I mean, couldn't have said it better, but did want to start the show because Masters is one of the biggest. It's the biggest tournament for golf, and they had a really good weekend. Yeah.
Not for none. A lot of people understand this is not like a huge, not even a big golf show. But what I've been hearing, that the Masters this past week was one of the greatest Masters of all time.
It was. Honestly, I didn't start watching until Friday afternoon, and then Saturday got really good, and then Sunday was all time. And I mean, hot take, and maybe this isn't my old man in me. We need more. We need more sporting events without phones.
Oh, I agree with that. Absolutely.
You got to be in the moment.
Yeah. One thing I can say is nothing like a crowd that's 100% into.
Yeah.
Like, even like phones could be involved, but like those like 2014 to 2018 finals were all electric. Like, I feel like maybe past 2022, not as like pop. When somebody makes a three, that pop, you hear the roar from the. I feel like we're not hearing that same roar as much as we used to a couple years ago. But I think it's still there.
What was the picture where was it Kobe? Was it LeBron? Where I think it was LeBron where he passed someone and everyone had their phone out. And Phil Knight.
Phil Knight. He was the only one just. Chilling.
He was just taking in the moment.
It was the Kareem when he passed Kareem.
Oh, yes, when he passed Kareem. Yes.
Yeah,
that was an iconic photo.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. That's cool. I'm just going by personal. Maybe I would have recorded at the moment, but I know at the back of my mind, I probably would have sat back and was like, it's going to be millions of clips. Yeah. Why do I need it on my phone where I could just download it or like
it's
save
this generation.
Yeah,
everyone wants it on their phone, and I'd rather be present. That's a low key. We're going on a tangent, but for like concerts, for example, I'm not usually those ones recording at concerts. Yeah. I'll get a picture or a video of like a song, but the whole concert, there are people on their phones on the whole concert, which is crazy to me.
Yeah. And there's people that go on their phones at the movies. So
that's bad.
And another thing is we can't deny that some people are addicted to the device.
100%. So yeah, I did want to shout out Roy McIlroy and the Masters. I wanted to lead the show off with that. Let's go to the NFL. Browns, they make some noise. Veteran quarterback Joe Flacco, baby, 1 year, $4 million deal. He could get up to $13 million with incentives. Here are the quarterbacks on the Cleveland Browns roster: Joey Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and Deshaun Watson, who, let's be honest, he's washed up. He's done. So, but in the last month, the Browns, who hold the number 2 pick, we're just 10 days away, guys, from the draft, by the way. They've added Kenny Pickett. They added Joe Flacco. And also, the team with the number 3 pick, the Giants, they also brought in 2 quarterbacks, Jameis Winston, legend, and Russell Wilson. I mean, what are we doing? Are we going to get into the draft and number 2 and 3 are not going to get a quarterback?
There's a small chance. As a Patriots fan, I will be highly upset as a Patriots fan because that means a dual Carter and Travis Hunter most likely off the board. So as a Patriots fan, I'm upset. But as a football fan, I understand that, at the end of the Giants, to me, they should draft Shador Sanders third overall. That's just me. But like you were saying a couple pods ago, if that ain't your guy, if the Giants with all the hearts, block out the fan noise, if the front office have a meeting collectively and they watch the door pro day and everything, and they confidently come together and say he's just not our guy, you can't blame him for not taking Shador at number 3. And with the Browns, Joe, to be honest, I'm a little surprised with the Browns. Just one, the Browns are much. I'm not gonna say much, but to me, they're a better team on paper than the New York Giants, and a more
Mm-hmm.
of a win, ready to win now situation than the Giants. I said it earlier. To me, the Browns, with the defense that they're capable of having when healthy, with the right quarterback play, they could be a quarterback away. Maybe not from being a Super Bowl contender, but being a playoff team, maybe winning a game or two. Who knows? But I thought they would go after Aaron Rodgers. They would go after Kirk Cousins. They would go one of these veterans like a Geno Smith, Sammy D, something like that. And they just have it. Joe Flacco, we saw what he did a couple years ago there. Magical run, got him to the playoffs. Kenny Pickett, I just saw a statement from him saying that he's going there to compete for the starting
As he
job.
should.
Yeah, as he should. I like that. Nothing I like that for
Yeah.
Kenny. I want to hear that for Kenny
Yeah.
Pickett. I'm not the biggest Kenny Pickett fan, but you should go in somewhere thinking I'm going to go in there and going to be the starter. So
Yeah.
I like that. But overall, I'm just surprised how it seems how these teams are moving. Because, like I said, I think the Browns are a much better team than the Giants, and they could be a quarterback away for being an honest playoff team. The Giants need a little more than that, and I could see why they go in veteran quarterback and they just develop sooner. The love. I'm sorry, develop now, and then hopefully sooner we process to a better team. Right now, to me, the Browns are a quarterback away from being a playoff team.
Are you surprised that teams who need a quarterback, i.e., the Browns, the Giants, are you surprised they're going veteran instead of a rookie, meaning Cam Ward,
What
Shador Sanders? Because I'm looking at mock drafts and I just don't see the Giants or the Browns drafting them in a very heavy next year draft for quarterbacks. Wait a year. Go and get a better quarterback. If you're going to be as bad as you were last season, you have a chance to go get Archie Manning. You have a chance to go get a much better quarterback than Shador Sanders. And that's no knock to Shador, but I don't see it. If he doesn't get drafted 2 or 3, he's going to fall to 9 to New Orleans. And what's to say New Orleans doesn't draft him? Then he's falling to 21 in Pittsburgh. I mean, you got a good situation there in DK, but I don't know. It just seems every week I come back and we talk, and it seems like Shador Sanders is falling. Maybe they're seeing something I'm not seeing, but it doesn't look good. If he doesn't get drafted in that top 10, either by those two teams, 2 or 3, or 9 to the Saints, he's drafted out of the top 20.
I don't know. I feel like a team will jump up and get them, in the teens, 11, 12, 13. I say he doesn't fall more than 15 because the team will jump back either in or jump up for him. But I wouldn't rule out the Giants. Honestly, I understand why. There's a lot of mock drafts coming out that the Giants are not drafting a quarterback, but ideal situation. You learned under Jameis, you learned under Russell Wilson for a year or two. You take over the starting job in a year or two. To me, that's an ideal situation. With the Cleveland Browns, are you going to bring in a rookie quarterback that's not like the quarterbacks you have in the building? Yeah, Shador's a little bit like Deshaun Watson more than he is Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco. So how much, yes, you can learn that under Joe Flacco, but if I had to make a case, if I had to bet on it today, I would say the Giants to draft a quarterback more so than the Cleveland Browns at 2.
Are you surprised? But to answer my question, are you surprised that they're going for right now? It seems like they're going the veteran route as opposed to taking a chance on a rookie.
I wouldn't say going the veteran route because at the end of the day, it's not like. Do you think Shador is going to be a week 1 starter?
No.
So you go on the veteran route no matter what. you're not gonna just throw him into the wolves. You're gonna develop him, Dale. You're gonna let him
Cam
sit back
Ward's
and
a
learn.
week 1 starter.
And that's why he's most likely gonna go number 1 or number 2, Dale. That's my thing. So I'm just confused with the Cleveland Browns because if I wanted to get, let's just say, the best quarterback available to me, Aaron Rodgers was available. He's
And now for him, he's sitting back and waiting till after the draft, till everything settles.
Yeah, so I'm a little confused with the Cleveland Browns. With the Giants, I would have ruled out them drafting Shador because you have two pretty good quarterbacks. Jameis, who won at the highest level in college, and then Russell Wilson, who won the highest level in the NFL. If I'm the Giants, I wouldn't be mad if I have Shador in that locker room for a year or two behind those guys.
Yeah, should be very interesting. We'll see what happens. Like I said, we are just 10 days away from the draft. From everything I'm reading, it looks like Jets are going to go offensive tackle, the kid from
Of course,
Missouri.
is offensive tackle or defense.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Yeah.
What do you
I
think?
don't
You get Mark
fucking know.
Sanchez? This ain't.
Yeah, literally. I don't fucking know. Honestly, I used to be excited for the draft.
Honestly, besides Garrett Wilson, my whole life has been offensive tackle and defense for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark Sanchez
And quarterback.
It is Mark Sanchez and Garrett Wilson. First round
Sam
pick.
Darnold.
Oh, Sammy D. Zach Wilson. Wow, I'm bullshitting.
You're bullshitting now. But yeah.
Well, prior to these prior to these bad years, these 2010 to 2020, it was all defense and offensive line.
Yeah, that's fair. Let's stay on the gridiron, kid. UFL was not the week we wanted. Let's just say that. It was actually a very tough week. I mean, Stallions, they win, but they don't cover the 3, so that was a loser. Shout out the Roughnecks. Congratulations. You guys won your first win of the season, 18-17. In hindsight, obviously 2020, the Showboats should have never fucking been a 4-point favorite against anyone. So that's on me. I should not have
and I got there with the under by a half.
The hook.
The only play I won. Michigan fucked me, but shout out Michigan. I had them in a parlay.
That was the best game of the week.
Yeah, they were down double digits. I think they were down 19-8 or 19-9 at halftime. We came back and won. Shout out Michigan. Like I said, so far pretty good. And I'm be honest, I think the biggest disappointing, yes, Birmingham lost.
It was the Battlehawks.
It was the Battlehawks, just because DC showed up and Battlehawks haven't. And I've been saying it so far. To me, the most impressive team thus far,
DC,
was St. Louis. To me, prior.
Yes.
Prior to yesterday, St. Louis has been the most impressive team to me. I think right now, DC might be as DC, because the Stallions, we know what the Stallions represent, but we can't deny that they aren't the same team that we saw the previous 2 years, especially offensively.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. Right now, I'm trying to find it. Maybe you could help me, because the book I'm looking at doesn't have it. But before Friday's game, you could get the Steins at plus 270 to win the whole thing. Not bad, because I do think they'll figure it out.
I think you gotta maybe come off that hill a little bit.
Oh, really?
We can't. Who's to me the Stallions? No, the Stallions. The St. Louis and DC has been better so far.
I think Stallions have been okay. It's offensively. Defense are just giving up 15 points, 14 points a game. It's the offense.
They're struggling, though. They've been
but I think they'll figure it out.
Last year they was averaging 20 plus points a game. This year they're struggling to get to 18.
Yeah. I know. I agree. It's early. It's early, but I do think they'll figure it out. Honestly, but you mentioned the that was the best game. The Michigan and the Brahmas game. Brahmas could have won. They cover the 7.5, and honestly, they should have won outright. They're not bad. They're not as bad as I thought they were gonna be. They're competitive, but San Antonio.
So far this year, each team has been more competitive than previous.
100%, except Houston. They're still a fade. They're still a fade to me.
Yeah, but I didn't touch. I took the under. I told you I might take the plus 4.5.
And Memphis is 0-3. They might be a fade, but even though San Antonio's 0-3, I think they're much better than Memphis. Is that fair to say?
I feel like Brahmas has been more competitive.
Yes. I
So
mean,
I gotta I'm gonna put the Brahmas ahead of Memphis, and that's the thing. I will, even though the Showboats won, I don't think they'll be able to beat them again.
that's fair.
I mean, the Roughnecks won.
Yeah, the Roughneck. Yeah. And honestly, yeah, I think the top 3 teams though.
To me, right now, is Defender, St. Louis, Stallions.
I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I think it's gonna. Obviously, you can't deny them anymore. Hand up, I was wrong on DC. They are legit right now.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
3-0. We got to start respecting them. I think it's DC, Birmingham, and I'm gonna switch. You like Seattle or St. Louis? I'm gonna take Arlington because they're 2-1 and they lost by a point to the Stallions. And their defense is good. They actually have the best defense. We talk about Michigan being a great defense. Michigan not that good this year. Arlington's only allowed 28 points this season. I mean, that's not bad, kid. I know the offense for St. Louis is much better. I think they put up the most points this season. They put up 72 points already through 3 games. So offensively, I think St. Louis is good, but that's going to be an interesting matchup for like the third ranking in mine is Arlington and St. Louis. But yeah, DC, what a win that was. 7-point underdogs was insane. Going on the road, now 2 huge wins against the Battlehawks and the Stallions. I think it speaks volumes. If you're doing power rankings, you have to put them at number 1. You have to. They're the only undefeated team in the league, right?
Yeah, you can't deny it. And like I said, prior to yesterday, I had the Battlehawks at number 1. I'm gonna knock them down. To me, you can't deny the Stallions, but they just haven't been the same team
Do you think they'll
offensively.
figure it out?
Have they shown me it yet? No, but from what history tells me, I'll
Yeah.
give them the benefit
Yeah.
of the doubt.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
what
that's
I've
fair.
seen so far haven't been impressive. That's all. That's all.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And we already have some lines up. Like I said, this Arlington and St. Louis game next week, it's gonna be good. We got Michigan, they're 7-point favorites against Memphis. I don't know. And then Saturday, St. Louis is 2.5-point road favorites on the road, taking on Arlington Renegades. We have the Stallions, they're 7.5-point favorites on the road against Houston. And then DC, 7.5-point favorites against the Brahmas.
See,
I like
I like the Brahmas, man. I
right?
think
That's
they
too
could
many
cover.
points.
They've been competitive. I'm not saying they're gonna shit. They might win. The way the season's been going.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, am I lagging?
Slightly.
Slightly,
not your
right?
not your mic, but video wise.
Video, right? You
Yeah.
guys are watching on YouTube because I just checked in and I thought it was just me, and I checked my connection. I got good service, but who knows? As long as the audio is good and there's no real
Yeah.
delay. But so yeah, lines are already out, which I think UFL has been doing a better job at putting out lines a little earlier than usually they come out like Thursday. But yeah, that's all the stats. I went 1-3. It was a bad week. It was the first losing
Same.
week for UFL, so it's
I
all
went-
right though.
Yeah, I went 1-2. It's all right.
Yeah.
We've been giving out
Alright.
winners.
Yeah,
We've been giving out
exactly.
winners for a few years now, people.
100%. So one bad week's not gonna break the bank. Let's go to the NBA season. Regular season is over. We got the playing games. They're all set as well. And by the way, are you a fan? I think I've asked you this before, but are you a fan of the play-in? Because low key, I'm starting to come around.
I told you this. I'm a fan of the play-in. I'm a fan of the play-in in-season tournament.
I like that. I like
just
that.
because what we witnessed. Well, I was texting you yesterday, Dill. We saw a great playoff atmosphere game. Clippers versus the Warriors. Are you telling me we're gonna have a season-ending game like that if it wasn't a play-in tournament implication? No, we weren't. So that it came down to a final game, a must-win game, and we saw Steph Curry give you. I forgot the total amount, but Steph, Kawhi, and James
What a
Harden,
game.
they all gave you about 35 each. I think Steph had like 14 in the fourth for 17. James Harden had like 15 in the fourth quarter in overtime. I think he scored 7 straight points in overtime. Kawhi had himself a game. We're not going to get those type of performances if it wasn't for the play-in. So,
I agree.
I'm a fan of it. Don't get me wrong. Do I want to see, let's just say, the Heat and Bulls matchup? Am I going to rush home to, watch it? Maybe not. But I like it just because it gives teams that's the 9th, 8th seed chances to come back into the playoffs. Think about it, Dale. Years ago, if you was the 9th seed, you was the 10th seed, your season was probably over.
Yeah.
Late March, early April. So you're not really playing for nothing. Now you got shit to play for. Now, how many times we come to the regular season, the end of the season? Oh, we got to be careful what we bet because some of these players, some of these games don't really mean nothing to nobody. Coming down the stretch in the NBA season, half the games mean something to these teams. So, in my opinion, to me, it's been a great success. I understand why some people don't love it, but in my opinion, it's just more competitive basketball for a basketball fan. How could you not love it?
Yeah, and right now, I'm going to read you the play-in for the East. We have the 7th and 8th seed, 7th seed Magic taking on the Atlanta Hawks, and the 9th seed, the Chicago Bulls taking on the Miami Heat. And then on the West side, number 7 seed, the Warriors. Like you said, that game yesterday between the Warriors. I'm not an NBA guy. I'll watch it occasionally. The playoffs I lock in for with the Knicks. But man, that Clippers and Warriors game was fantastic. I just couldn't keep my eyes off of
I
it.
honestly wish they were the 4th and 5th seed so we could
Yeah.
watch 5 or 6 or possibly 7 games of it in a row.
That's going 7.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
If the Clippers and the Warriors play each other, it's going 7.
But the Warriors, they do match up. Interesting style. Interesting, like, you know how we say for boxing or for UFC, stylistic matchup. This is a crazy stylistic matchup, I think, for the Warriors and the Grizzlies going at it. And then you got the Kings and the Mavericks. Hand up, I was wrong. I didn't think the Mavericks were going to make the playoffs at one point, but they wind up sneaking in. They got the 10th seed.
You had a little more faith in Phoenix than I did coming out of the All-Star break. I told you, I was like, Dale, even with the injuries, I had the Spurs getting in, but after Wemby went out, I was like, all right, I'm going to give Dallas a shot because I honestly didn't. I had no faith in Phoenix. I think I was on it early. I think it's going to be a tough matchup. Shout out Anthony Davis and the remaining squad that's healthy. If Kyrie was still there and some of the other guys.
Oh, you got to give them a shot then.
Yeah, got to give them a shot. But we're going to see.
They're injured right now. They're dealing with some injuries.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's going to be a good matchup. But I think the best game of the play-in is tomorrow night, Golden State versus Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I also think the Bulls and the Heat, like line-wise, I mean, Bulls are only...
It's the closest game. It's the closest.
Yeah.
That's why I brought them up, because it is the closest game, but it's not like it's two premier teams.
Yeah, of course. I think, honestly, the East play-in is better than the West, because, it would be good if Kyrie was there, but I think the Kings are going to win.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I think the Bulls and the Heat is going to be a great game. It's not a game that I'm eyeing for.
There's not a lot of stars.
Yeah, and then the Mavericks and Kings have a potential to be a good one because you got Sabonis, you got Anthony Davis. To me, it's a potential to be a good game. Then you got the vets, you got Zach LaVine, you got DeRozan. Yeah. That's going to be an interesting matchup. But Atlanta Hawks, Orlando Magic, to me, that's an exciting game. And then the Warriors and Grizzlies, it's gonna be a great showdown right there. That one I'm gonna have to take a nap and then watch the game tomorrow.
Honestly, I think the East got the play-in games going well, but I think the 4-5 and 3-6 series for the West are going to be great. Lakers and Timberwolves and Nuggets and Clippers. That's going to be a great series as well. Like Pacers Bucks, it's okay. Pacers good season, 50-32. And Knicks and Pistons, Knicks should win the game, should win the series. But if Cade Cunningham takes over, I mean, He has to prove it to me. I'm the biggest Cade Cunningham. We started the pod 3-4 years ago, me talking about Cade Cunningham. I'm the biggest Cade Cunningham fan ever. I told you he was going to be elite.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is we haven't seen him in prime time. People have been telling me who's the best player in this series. You're out of your mind if you don't think it's Jalen Brunson. He's been there and done that. Cade Cunningham is elite. He's a star. He's probably going to make all NBA first team. But he hasn't done it in the postseason. Let him do it, and then I could give him it. But Jalen Brunson is the best player in this series. Don't get it twisted. And we're talking about firings because Mike Budenholzer just got the can. Tom Thibodeau, I'm speaking to you now. If you lose this series, you're out of here. I mean, coaches are getting thrown left and right. If he loses this series, you cannot come back. That's back-to-back 50-win seasons in a row. And for you to get canned by a young, hungry, nothing to play for Piston team, your ass is out of here, kid. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Cade Cunningham does what he did in the regular season against us. It's going to be a long series. I'll tell you that much. But we should win. Should be a good series. But, oh, yeah, let's talk about Mike Budenholzer. He got the boot. 11th place, 36-46 after one season. This was last year. They had 49 wins and they were the 6th seed. They had the number 13th ranked defense last season. The Suns plummeted to the 3rd worst in defense this year, and they went 10-18 after the All-Star break. So for the 3rd time this offseason, Phoenix is changing their head coach. I'm not surprised.
Not surprised at all. You know, to me, for all the coaches that have been fired this season, this is the only one that makes sense. You know, I'm a fan of Budenholzer. I think he's a good head coach. It just wasn't the right fit in my opinion for the Phoenix Suns. We saw Frankie V last year, like you said, 13th in defense, made the playoffs, got swept in the first round, but at the end of the day, they were a playoff team. Now this year, completely missed the playoff and the play-in. I understand Kevin Durant was dealing with an injury, but you still have your core guys there. The fact that with this amount of talent, you know, even Grayson Allen, the year prior, you can make the case he coming off his best career year. He got a nice contract, and you just was able to fall so beneath the bar. That alone is the fireball fest. The fact that Mike Malone, Jenkins, who are in the playoffs, 5th seed, 4th seed, 6th seed, got fired weeks before the playoffs, and Budenholzer got fired the day the season ends. The Suns had more respect for a losing coach that ended up missing the playoffs than the Nuggets and the Grizzlies had for a winning coach. To me, it's a shame how bad and poorly the Phoenix Suns were this year. And to me, the Bradley Beal experiment was an utter disaster. He needs to go. Kevin Durant is going to go. And I honestly feel bad for Devin Booker. Just a couple years. Yeah. Just a couple years ago, we saw him go into a finals run. We had CP. You had Tatum Malone. You had DeAndre Ayton. And then what was I forgot the coach's name. You remember he was the Pistons coach?
Yeah, no, I don't remember.
I forgot his name, but he was a good coach as well. Now, it's looked like all those pieces are gone. I think KD is going to be gone. I feel like Bradley Beal is going to be gone. Chris CP is already gone. DeAndre Ayton's already gone. I think Devin Booker is going to be a lonely Phoenix Suns next year. And I hate to say it, I think the Phoenix Suns are on their way to being a bad team once again that we saw just a couple years ago.
My thing is, what are we doing? Like, what is the direction that we're doing? Because it seems like from what you're saying, you got to rebuild. And the only piece that's going to stay is Devin Booker, which I agree with. They got to move off of Kevin Durant. Bradley Beal needs to go as well. But if you're just left with Devin Booker, who's an all-time great, what maybe all-time great. He's great.
He's great, yeah.
What are we doing here? Do you want to rebuild? Are you going to, because they had the largest payroll this year?
You have to. You have to think about it. It's not like it's baseball But
Yeah.
it's not you got to go under the cap eventually, though. And the fact that you were the highest uh payroll team and you was only able to get 36 wins, I believe. That's just a damn shame. That's just a damn shame, Bill. For all the amount of talent this team has,
Uh,
he wasn't able to make the play-in tournament. And I like Budenholzer,
yeah.
but at least they gave him the benefit of the doubt and fired him at the end of the season.
That's fair. Yeah. They the Pelicans, they also fired
Willie Green.
exec no
Oh,
executive vice president David Griffin. 6 seasons with the franchise. He went 209 and 263 under the leadership. Then, he built a strong roster this season, but they dealt with a lot of injuries, the whole Zion thing. Willie Green, he will remain in place as the franchise holds for a full search for the next basketball operations executive. But here's a positive, I'll say. The Trailblazers, Portland Trailblazers and Chauncey Billups, they agreed
hmm
to a multi-year extension. Billups, man, he's a good coach. Sometimes you could be like, you're a good player, but you're not a good teacher. He was a great player, and he seems like he's a really good coach as well. Billups, he had a 550 winning percentage since January 19th. That's top 5 in the league, and that's also the Blazers were also top 5 in defense during that span as well. And they got really young guys, Donovan Klingman from Connecticut, Scoot Henderson, Shannon Sharp as well. They got some young pieces, and
and Sharpie's becoming a dog. Honestly, Scoot Henderson taking a little time to develop, but he's starting to come around as well. So I like the situation in the path that the Portland Trailblazers are going. And not to mention, Jordan Peterson has the same record as the Phoenix Suns. And look at the names you mentioned; those are not household names.
yeah.
Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal; those are household names, and the Portland Trailblazers have the same exact record.
Sad.
Shout out Chauncey Billups, man.
Yeah,
Well
shout out
deserved.
Chauncey. Yeah, I'm glad he got paid. All right, okay, let's get to these picks. But before we do that, a quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. It's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV. Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing around a golf with the boys or an elderberry watching the NBA playing tournament, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, kid, let's start with that play in. We will start on Tuesday. They're going to have the day off, rightfully so. And then we got 2 games on Tuesday, 2 games on Wednesday. We will start in Orlando. First game, 7:30. Magic hosting the Atlanta Hawks. Magic laying the 5, -195 on the money line. Totals at 216.5. Kid, I'll start us off, kid. I'm gonna lay it with I got 4.5 yesterday. I'll still lay the 5 here with the Magic. Orlando just has better defense. Paolo Banchero, he's been dominant. I think he's gonna exploit the Hawks. They have a front weak core outside of Trae Young, and I think the home crowd is gonna really help the Magic as well. I think they're going to cover, and I think the Hawks are going to have a problem dealing with the physicality inside. You got Franz Wagner as well, and outside of Trae Young, I don't really know who they're really going to turn to for this. And I think rebounding, I think Orlando's going to have the edge in the rebounding as well, going to limit the chances for the Hawks. So I think the depth goes into Orlando Magic side. So I'm going to lay here with the Magic. I think they are the better team here.
I can't disagree with you. I agree with you on that. The Magic are the better team. But give me the +5, +5.5 with the Atlanta Hawks still. I think they can make things interesting. At the end of the day, we know Ice Tray. Been there, done that. I wouldn't be surprised if Ice Tray is the best player on the court come tomorrow night. Don't get me wrong, I expect Frank's Ryan there and Paulo Pachero to ball. It's not like they're in a playoff series last year. It's not like the lights are going to be too bright for them. But when the lights are bright, I expect one guy to show up, and that guy is Trey Young. His over under assists is at 10.5, and I'm still tempted to take the over deal. I'm gonna lean the over 10.5 this because he's gonna be involved. His over point and a half is at 27.5. Probably stay away from Nick, but I do think he's will be around 25 to 28, maybe 30 points. But I do like the over assist because the ball is gonna be in his hands a lot. He's gonna make a lot of plays. Give me the Atlanta Hawks +5 on the road.
All right, let's go to the next game. 10 o'clock on Tuesday, the Golden State Warriors hosting the Memphis Grizzlies. Warriors laying 7, -290 on the money line, +245 for the Grizzlies. Total is at 229. I'm going to take the over here, kid. I think this is going to be a back and forth game. Two high pace, fast pace offenses. Curry, we saw what he was able to do. Even getting into foul trouble yesterday, he still had over 30, 35 points. And Ja, say what you want about Ja, but I mean, he's phenomenal. His drives, they create open looks for his teammates. I think both defenses are going to struggle to contain each other's offenses. And both teams, they thrive on transition scoring up and down the court. So both teams limited rim protection outside of Jared Jackson. No really present on the glass. Maybe Draymond Green a little bit, but I think they're going to allow a lot of easy buckets. I expect a shootout here, so I'm going to take the over 229.
Chill. I like it. I like it. Um, I got two plays for y'all. I'm gonna go with a player prop first. I think this number is a little low. I think he's a little disrespected, and I think he could have a successful day tomorrow. Give me Desmond Bain over 19.5 at -117. To me, I think I wouldn't be surprised. Dylan likes the over. I wouldn't be surprised if Desmond Bain had himself a good game. Wouldn't be surprised if Jai's somewhere around 30 and Desmond's around 24, 25 points still. Also, give me Memphis +7. I think they lose, but I do think they keep make it interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if they lose by 4 to 5, maybe 6 points. I think seven's a little high, just because we've seen the Golden State for some reason, Dill. They struggle in these playing games. They're 0-3 so far in the short term in these playoff games. I do think they'll finally win this one, but I think Memphis keep it close. Give me Memphis. Give me Desmond Bain over 19.5 points, and then give me the two-way teaser deal. I like both dogs. Might as well give me the points. So give me Atlanta Hawks to +11, and give me Memphis to +13 at -134.
All right, let's go to Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern. The Chicago Bulls hosting the Miami Heat. Bulls -1, short favorite at home, -112 on the money line, -106 for the Miami Heat. Total is at 219. I'm going to take the Bulls here, kid. They swept the series 3-0 against the Heat this year. Between Kobe White, Zach LaVine, their scoring, I just think, is going to outmatch the Heat's offense. They have the depth. He dealing with some injuries here. They've won 3 straight coming into this to end the regular season. So I do think the momentum also is with the Chicago Bulls. And I just think the Bulls guards, they're just going to exploit the Heat's perimeter. Plus Vucevic, I think he's going to neutralize Bam Adebayo inside the paint. And I just think I've watched too many games where the Heat's offense struggles with that when they don't find rhythm in the game. So I think the Bulls are going to control the pace of the game, secure a win, and make it 4 in a row. I'm going to take the Bulls here, -112.
Same deal. Give me the Bulls, Chicago Bulls. I think I called -110, but shop around, people. To me, the Bulls are just honestly they're the better team. Give Miami Heat, they're well coached, but in a one-game win all, give me the Chicago Bulls at home. I think Kobe White's been great. Josh
Yeah.
Giddey, people give him a lot of slack, but Josh Giddey shows up for work. And I agree with you. I think Vucevic is gonna. I'm not gonna say cause havoc for Bam, but that's a big body, and I know Bam. He's either gonna boom or bust. He's either gonna give you 12, or he's gonna give you 26 and 12. So give me the Chicago Bulls to take care of business at home, and I wouldn't be surprised if they win by double digits. Give me the Bulls -110.
Second game on Wednesday, 10 o'clock
Oh,
here.
I
Yeah,
apologize. I
you're
have a
good.
player prop as well. Going back to the well, though, I know you know. Give me Andrew Wiggins over 4.5 rebounds at -110. People, I don't know why. Every come playoff time, they show my boy Andrew Wiggins. He's gonna be aggressive, and I'm gonna be honest. If Miami has any shot, I think they need Andrew Wiggins to be a little aggressive on the boards because Chicago got more size, especially down low. Give me Wiggins over 4.5 rebounds.
I love it. All right. Second game on Wednesday, 10 o'clock here on the East Coast. The Mavericks on the road taking on the Sacramento Kings. Kings laying 5 at home, -190 on the money line, +165 for the Mavericks. Total is 216. I'm gonna lay it here with the Kings. I just think they're the better team. We talked about it earlier. They're without Kyrie. Kings, they swept the Mavs 3-0 this series. They kind of dominated them. Sabonis, think he's going to overpower Dallas, their interior. Anthony Davis is going to get his, but other than that, who are they really going to go towards? DeRozan, they have him to. He's a vet. He's been there, done that. I think he could exploit the wing defense. And after losing Luka a few months ago, I just think that's really going to hurt a team in a win or go home type of game. So Mavericks, they've dealt with injuries, and I think that's going to limit their offense here in this game. Kings, they're gonna control the ball, and I think they're gonna control the boards here with Sabonis as well. Limit the second chances for the Mavericks. So I'm gonna lay it here with the Kings. I think they're the much better team right now.
Yeah, I'm laying it right here with the Kings. Give me the -4.5, -5, whatever you could get. Don't get me wrong. The Dallas Mavericks have a shot, not just to cover, but to win the game if Anthony Davis shows up. We saw the marquee matchup just about a week ago, Lakers versus the Mavericks when Luka dropped 45. Anthony Davis just didn't show up. I think he had 2 points at halftime, finished the game with just 11 or 13 points. If the Dallas Mavericks has any shot into a round two of a play-in, he needs to give you at least 35 and 15. And we all know Anthony Davis, when healthy, is capable of doing that on a consistent basis. I'm just not sure if that guy is going to show up on Wednesday night. Give me the Kings -4, 4.5, -5, whatever number you could get.
I love it. All right, kid. Let's go to the NHL. 6 games here. The regular season does wind up coming to an end on Thursday. I think most of the teams are playing that day. But any plays for you or no?
I only have one lean.
Okay.
Wasn't able to talk to Cuddy for the loyal listeners out there. I apologize. Been a busy Monday. But Dallas Stars taking on Detroit Red Wings. Stars favorite. Their favorite -114 on the money line. Over under sitting at 6. I like the Stars on the road. They lost 5, 6 straight games. I feel like they're due for the win. To me, they're the better club. I understand it's a week before the playoffs, not much to play for. But I think you want to get on track, right? Come playoff time. To me, this is a gettable win on the road. I like the Dallas Stars on the road -114.
Yeah, a few plays here for me. I'm going to take Chicago first period plus a half a goal. So if they end 0-0, they're up. I hit that. I'm also going to take them to win the first period plus 180 against the Canadiens. And then the other play, I like a total Utah Hockey Club taking on the Nashville Predators. I'm going to take the over 6 here. In that game, I think it's a little chalky at -125. I do think we're going to see some goals in that game. By the way, kid, before we get to the MLB and finish up, we have breaking news from Albert Breer 2 minutes ago. He goes, Shador Sanders is very unlikely to be drafted number 2 by the Browns or number 3 by the Giants. So
How does he have that though?
he, according to his sources, people inside the building. It's 10 days. You think people aren't talking?
I understand that, but
You are hooked on him being a top 5 pick.
I'm not hooked on nothing. I'm just, how could anybody break that news? That's
So
just my thing.
are you calling Albert Breer a liar?
I'm not calling him a liar. Absolutely not. All I'm saying is, as let's just say his sources, right? His sources is somebody in in tune, in the team, in the front office somewhere, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How could the front office flat out come out a week prior, 10 days prior, and said, "No chance in hell we're gonna draft Shador Sanders"?
I don't know.
To me,
And we've heard even teams come out and say, "Listen, it was within hours that we picked the guy." Like it comes down to like
yeah.
that day.
So I don't know. Me,
He said it's very unlikely. Things could change in 10 days.
and it was a lot of things that was very unlikely, and and that very unlikely thing happened.
That's fair. That is very
A,
fair. But
a lot.
I just wanted to tell you that because we were talking about Shador. But let's end it with the diamond, and we got some plays in baseball. 10-game slate on the diamond. Mets 10-5. We're rolling. Only team not to lose back-to-back games this year. What do we like here, kid, for the MLB slate?
Let's start it off, Dill. I got 2 games. Me personally, I'm not sure how many you got. I'm laying chalk today, people. I'm laying chalk, so I apologize. Detroit Tigers taking on the Milwaukee Brewers. Schoolboy on the mound. You know how much
Mm.
this pod likes Schoolboy.
Cy
Lay,
Young.
laying minus 156 on the money line. Alexandra going on the opposite side for Milwaukee. Milwaukee been respectful so far this season. Give credit. But like I said, people, we're laying chalk. Give me the minus 156
Wow.
on the money line with Detroit on the road. Don't get me wrong. Would I lay the run line? If they were at home, I would do it. On the road, I tend to stay away from the run line. So we're just gonna play it safe there. And then my next play, like I said, people, we're laying chalk. Can't deny it. Dale, I think you even be surprised how well not just one team has played, both these teams has played. Chicago Cubs taking on the San Diego Padres. Still, only team undefeated at home left is who?
Padres.
Padres 10-0 or 9-0, something like that at home. I might get burned, but give me the minus 150 on the money line with the San Diego Padres. Another game I like, just to give y'all a pick on people so you can be like, oh, Elvis only laying chalk. Give me the St. Louis Cardinals on the money line minus 110. Don't get me wrong. I love
Oh, wow.
Valdez on the mound. I don't love Houston, but I have a lot of respect for Valdez. I think he has a good outing. So does Sonny Gray, but the bullpen ruins it for Valdez. Give me the St. Louis Cardinals at home. So for all the people out there saying Elvis laying chalk, give me a minus 110 for that ass.
So I am going to start in Philly. I'm going to take the Giants here with Logan Webb on the mound. So all these numbers that I got were last night, so they're definitely you can't get them. I got plus 103 for the
Wait,
Giants. They're minus 104 now.
who you had pitching?
Oh, Landon Rupp. It's
Oh,
Landon
okay.
Rupp.
All
Yeah,
right.
not Logan Webb. My fault.
Yeah, that's why I was like, that's why the
Yeah.
number changed.
I'm just not a fan of Taiwan Walker. He's stinky. So plus money or minus 104. I still think it's a good number. We'll go out to the Bronx. I'm gonna take Kansas City here, plus 123. Cookie Carrasco is just not good. 7.71 ERA. Think we'll see some runs here. 8.5, 9. I see some 9s out there, which makes sense. I think Cookie Carrasco could get shelled here. So I'll take a shot here with the dog, 125. Give me the Royals. Give me the under 9 for the Blue Jays. I see 9.5. Ooh, it's going the opposite way. Not good. Between Grant Holmes and Easton Lucas, between the Blue Jays and the Braves, I think we see a lower scoring game. The Braves just not looking good, kid, for the Atlanta Braves. I love it. I'm going to take the Tigers on the run line, minus 1.5 at plus 115. Turek Schoolboy has just been amazing. Tyler Alexander has been okay as well, but Tiger has been impressive so far. They just won 2 of the last 3 in their last series over the weekend. I think they'll get it done here at plus 115. And I got plus 109 yesterday with Sonny Gray at home against it's a bad Houston team. I don't trust them at all offensively. They stink. They opened up the favorite, which I don't know how, which is why I jumped on the plus 109 with the Cardinals, which makes sense why now they're minus 110 at home. They just have the much better hitting team. And Sonny Gray is a guy you want to be backing at home and not on the road. So love that play there. I am going to take the Cardinals as well, kid. That's about it. Under 55 minutes. Any last words before we get up out of here?
I think that's it, Dill. UFL was painful this week. We got play-in, and then we got NBA playoffs starting this
Gotta love it.
Sunday, Monday. It's gonna be exciting, people. Just bear with us. Might be a little slow for these next couple of days, but starting next week, it's gonna be on. And not for nothing, me and Dylan are gonna come back. I don't know if it's gonna be Thursday, but most likely Monday's pod with some NFL props. So be ready.
Yeah.
Draft
So
props.
yes, exactly. So that little change in schedule. So we'll be on for Thursday. Then I am taking a trip to Florida for Easter. We will be back Tuesday because I'll be driving. I'm taking the trip, driving to Florida. So we'll be back Tuesday.
Before the draft.
Before the draft, we'll
If
try to
you
get
want,
someone.
we could do it Wednesday. Why not?
We'll talk about it
Yeah,
offline.
we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll be back, and then regular program from here on out. But yeah, 10 days away from the draft. Playoff starting next week as well, and then we got the play in this week. WrestleMania this weekend, kid. Easter weekend in Vegas. You watching? John Cena.
Like I said, it's WrestleMania. It's a 2-day event.
Oh,
I think it's a little un-American if I only tune in.
I'm
for
old
one
school.
Day.
I know. I like kind of like just the Sunday pay-per-view. I agree. But all right, kid. Well, enjoy the games. Good luck on all your bets, and we'll see you guys Thursday.